Hello guys, welcome to this biology revision. In today's biology revision, I want us to look at this interesting question, which is coming from different topics. Actually, one of the topics it is coming from is classification, right? So let's read through the questions, then we'll start answering afterwards. So we have question 1, which reads, figure 1.1 shows 3 different types of organisms labeled A, B, and C. So we have different types of organisms. This one is labeled A, this one B, this one C. Then a Roman numeral 1 says identify 3 organisms shown in figure 1.1 above. So you need to identify what type of organism is organism A, organism B, and organism C. Then Roman numeral 2 says classify the organisms identified in A part 1 according to their kingdoms. So now you classify these organisms. Once you identify them, you classify them into the kingdom they belong. Okay, so let's move. Then B part 1 says state 2 organisms which might bring about the decay of organic matter. So you need to give 2 organisms here. Then part 2 says name 1 disease caused by organism A. Okay, then we need to move. Then question number 2 says figure 2.1 shows the structure of a mammalian sperm. Okay, so this figure 2.1 here shows the structure of a mammalian sperm. Okay, now A part 1 says identify the parts labeled A, this part labeled D, and this part labeled E. Okay, then part 2 says explain the function of the part labeled F. So we need to explain the function of the part labeled F, this part here. Then B says what substance produced by the cervix enable the sperm to swim in the female reproductive tract. Okay, then C part 1 says explain why only one sperm fertilizes the ovum. Then part 2 says distinguish between a sperm and an ovum. Okay, so let's start answering the questions right away. So this one says figure 1.1 shows 3 different types of organisms labeled A, B, and C. Then A part 1 says identify the 3 organisms shown in figure 1.1 above. So organism A here, it is a rhizopus. Okay, you must understand that this one is a rhizopus, a type of fungus often referred to as bread mold. Then this one B here, as you know it, this one is a spider. Okay, it is also called an arachnid. Then this C here is called a bacterium, also a single-celled organisms or microorganism. So this one is a rhizopus, spider, then this one is a bacterium or bacteria. Then part 2 says classify the organisms identified in A part 1. So we now classify these organisms which have been identified already here according to their kingdoms. So we need to put the kingdom to which the rhizopus belong, and also the spider belong, and also the bacterium belong. So you must know that the rhizopus here belong to the kingdom known as the fungi. Okay, then the spider belong to the kingdom called the animalia. Then the bacterium belong to the kingdom called the bacteria. Okay, then let's move to B part 1 says state 2 organisms which might bring about decay of organic matter. So we need to state 2 organisms which might bring the decay of matter. So one organism is actually the fungi such as rhizopus. Okay, so the fungi such as rhizopus can bring about decay. So here we have explained to say fungi play a role or a crucial role in decomposing organic matter, breaking it down into simpler substances. Then another one is actually bacteria. So bacteria is another organism that bring about the decay of organic matter. I've explained to say bacteria are essential decomposers that break down dead organic matter and recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. Then part 2 says name one disease caused by organism A. So organism A was a rhizopus. So what disease is caused? There are many. So you could say black fungus infection or arthritis foot or ringworm. Then we move on to part 2 or question 2. Let's move on to question 2, which says figure 2.1 shows the structure of a mammalian sperm. So this is the structure. Then they are saying A part 1, identify the parts labeled D and E. So D, this part I had initially looked at it as the acrosome, but again it looks like it is a cell membrane. So this one is a cell membrane. So I would change here and put the cell membrane. So D here is a cell membrane, this part here. Then E, this part here is the nucleus. Okay. Then part 2 says explain the function of the part labeled F. So this part from here up to here, it is a tail. So we are going to say that F is tail, or it is also known as a flagellum. So the tail or the flagellum of the sperm is responsible for its motility or mobility movement. Okay, that is the function. It enables the sperm to swim through the female reproductive tract to reach and fertilize the egg. So that's the function of the tail or the flagellum. So the tail or flagellum of the sperm is responsible for its motility. It enables the sperm to swim through the female reproductive tract to reach and fertilize the egg. Then B, they are saying what substance produced by the cervix enable the sperm to swim in the female reproductive tract. So what substance produced by the cervix enable the sperm to swim in the female reproductive tract? So the substance produced can either be called the cervical fluid or cervical mucus. Then we move to D part. C part 1 says explain why only one sperm fertilizes the ovum. So the answer could be that the first sperm to penetrate the egg cell's outer membrane initiates chemical reactions that prevent other sperm from entering. So this process ensures that the resulting zygote has the correct number of chromosomes, half from the sperm and half from the egg. Yeah. So when one sperm fertilizes the egg, it does what? It initiates a chemical reaction that prevents other sperms from entering. So this process ensures that the resulting zygote has the correct number of chromosomes. Half should come from the sperm, then half from the egg. Then B, distinguish between a sperm and an ovum. So here you have to say sperm are produced in vast numbers, while only one ovum is typically released during a menstrual cycle. So this is one difference. Another difference, you can say sperm have a tail for motility, while the ovum does not have. You can also say that a sperm cell is smaller than an ovum. Yeah. So yeah, we have come to the end of this quick revision. I hope you have gained some insight here. For now, bye.